In this video, we are going to determine the number of permutations of n non-distinct objects. So how is this different? Think about a word like pepper. If we were going to rearrange the letters of the word pepper, we would start by determining, okay, how many spaces do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We would begin solving this just like we have before. And then we would ask ourselves, how many options are there for that first space, or that how many letters do we have to go in that first space right there? Well, we have 6 letters. Then we would move on and say, okay, we used up 1. Then we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this would be a permutation, right? Almost. But because there's some repetition, there's 3 P's, those are not distinguishable. So if we ended up rearranging these, we could end up with one of our rearrangements as pepper, and then we would rearrange them again, and we may get the same pepper, but because we have so many P's and we have a few E's, that switching the places of these two doesn't actually look like a different word to us, but technically it counts as a different arrangement. So we have to account for non-distinct objects. So when we can't tell the difference between things, and we have to divide those out because they're not actually different arrangements, or we can't see the difference. So those are things like the same letters. We have to divide those out. So what does this look like? Well, using this formula, we take how many elements we have, or how many letters we have. Well, that would be 6 factorial, just like we were doing right here. But we know that it's actually less than 6 factorial, so we have to divide by however many non-distinct objects we have. So I usually just list how many of each letter I have in the word. So how many P's are there? There are 3 P's. How many E's? 2. And how many R's? Just 1. So any repetition or any more than 1, we need to account for. And we do that by taking the factorial of that number. So you can imagine, let's say these were our 3 P's. Rearranging those would be 3 factorial. So we have to divide by 3 factorial. If these were our 2 E's, we have to divide by 2 factorial. And then for our R, you can write it if you want, but it's really not necessary. So really we just have to divide by any repetition or repeated letters. So we have 6 factorial divided by 3 factorial times 2 factorial. And now this you can stick in your calculator, or you can calculate it by hand. Either way is okay. This one is actually pretty doable by hand, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish it out. So 6 factorial is 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And then 3 factorial would be 3 times 2 times 1. I won't write that. And then 2 factorial would be 2 times 1. And then we just do any simplification or cancellation that we have, and we see what's left. So there's a 2 and a 2. We have 3 times 2, which is 6. So our denominator is divided out. And then on top we have 5 times 4, which is 20, times 3, which is 60. So we have 60 different ways to rearrange the letters of the word pepper to get different words or have unique different arrangements.